Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, January 17th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. We have a couple of minor things to talk about before we get into the big game tonight. So we'll start with the Sharks, who lost 4-2 to the Detroit Red Wings last night. And to be honest with you, I don't think this game should, have been as close as it was. I do not think we played well in this game, especially defensively. Really felt like we weren't, paying attention to the offensive players for the Red Wings when they got into the zone. We weren't manning up on people. We weren't playing, very aggressive, trying to defend. And which it's very unfortunate because Yaroslav Askarov had a phenomenal game, 21 for 24 on saves, and he made some of the craziest saves that I've seen him make this year. And even though he did give up the 3 goals, I think if it wasn't for the stellar play of Yaroslav Askarov in last night's game, the Sharks could have lost this game by a ton more than they actually lost by. Like I said, it's unfortunate. There is a positive note that Will Smith returned for this game, his first game since he got hurt against the Penguins back in December. He had a goal in this game, assisted by Celebrini. So hopefully that Will Mack connection is back. Those guys are so fun to watch when they're playing together. They're best friends on and off the ice. So it's great that Will's back, but the performance, especially defensively in this game, was lackluster for the Sharks. And yet another example of we won the first game of a back-to-back and then lost the second one. It doesn't affect, as much as some other sports because we get points for wins. It wouldn't just be a loss or a win and then a loss evening out. We do get some points from it. And this is an Eastern Conference opponent. So not that much of a huge loss in the standings. The Sharks' next game is going to be on Monday at Florida. And then the next day we have Tampa Bay. So another back-to-back. But let's talk about what's going to happen tonight. We've talked about it over and over again all throughout the week, but today is finally the day where at 5 o'clock Pacific time, the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers will do battle and see who's going to win this divisional round playoff game. It's exciting. I'm very excited for this game. We've talked about all the matchups and all the variables, injury concerns, how these teams match up strategy-wise, physically. But I think when we get down to it, these are just two teams that do not like each other, and I think it's going to be a rough, physical game, and I'm very, very excited for it. Where do we go? We could start with. I think we'll start with the start. I think that the most important part at the start of the game is getting off to a good start. So we did well against the Eagles in Philadelphia. We went down and we scored first, and that really set the tone for how the game was going to go. Somewhat. I think scoring first, ideally touchdown, but we'll take a field goal. But getting points on the board is going to be big because, like I've been saying, you want to force Sam Darnold to throw the football, and there's a greater chance of him doing that when they're down and looking to get a score quickly. And if you're able to do that, you can kind of hide the run defense struggles by forcing them to throw the football. It won't be as prevalent. It's going to be a big key. Get ahead and stay ahead. It's going to give us a huge advantage in this one. And if we don't do that, well, it's going to be a repeat of how Seattle's offense was in Week 18. They were so good running the football. And if you keep giving them chances to run the football, run out clock, they're going to start gashing you. We can't afford for that to happen. Getting off to a great start and staying ahead is going to be super important in this game. Some other keys. I think on the other side of that, we need to run the football well in order to set up what we want to do. It's a very intimidating D line. They have some great players on that D line, and we just gotta lock in. You gotta move some bodies It's going to be rough without Kittle. I still believe in Farrell would be the blocking tight end typically, but you're also going to have Tonjes in there. More likely, Tonjes will be getting more snaps. I believe in those two. I've said it before. I think those two combined can do a good job of filling Kittle's shoes somewhat. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do that because he's George Kittle, but you can do a good enough job with combo Tonjes Farrell. So that's going to be big. And I think, like I said, the O line, who has been good this year, and I really haven't been giving them their flowers, um, at least not yet anyway. Hopefully, we can just, move some people, maybe get 3 to 4 yards per carry, and also on top of that, get some big runs. We haven't really gotten big runs this year. Um, Maybe if we can, you know, crack a few big runs, that'll help us in moving the ball down the field. It's going to be good. I think one factor we haven't talked about is the fans. They're Seattle. Seattle is a very intimidating place to play. It is very loud, one of the most hostile environments in the NFL, and I think it's going to be a factor. But I have seen a lot of 49er fans traveling. We travel very well. The faithful show up to road games in large numbers. I don't think it's not going to be a full takeover like we do with the Rams on most occasions, but I think we will have a lot of fans in that stadium, and we are a passionate group. We're a rowdy bunch, and I think maybe we can affect Seattle by doing that. If we get some momentum, the fans in the stadium can do a great job of affecting the game, but it's like quadrupled for the Seahawks. If they have the momentum, that place is going to be super loud, and that really is a factor, especially in a high stakes, intense playoff game like we have going on tonight. It's I'm just super excited, man. I can't wait. As I'm recording this, we got 5 hours to go, less than 5 hours to go. I'm super, super excited. Predictions for the game. Um, Obviously, before I make my prediction, I do want to say I am a Niners fan through and through. I love this team. I bleed red and gold, and I'm very much rooting for us to win today. But for the sake of sticking with my prediction, I still think the Seahawks are going to win this game. But I would not be surprised at all if we were to win this game. And that goes for every game this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if any team beat the other team. Any result would not surprise me. All 8 teams still remaining in the season, in the playoffs, have a chance to win it all. And I still believe in the 49ers, but you can't be switching up. So I'll take the Seahawks, like I said at the beginning of the playoffs. Just, because switching up on your picks, it's cheap, right? So even though I'm rooting for the 49ers, I think the 49ers have a better chance of winning than I thought coming into the postseason. I'm still going to take the Seahawks. So for the prediction, I think I'm going to go 27-17 in favor of Seattle. But it could be a lot closer than that. But I kind of feel like that's the way it's going to go. The first 2 games were low scoring, and like we said before this week, when you face a division rival for the third time, you can almost expect it to be different completely. The first 2 are low scoring. I think this one's going to be more high scoring, more offensive field, which does give us a better chance. But I think Seattle is ultimately just the better team at this current point. Obviously, fully healthy, we can destroy anyone in the league. But in our current state, I just don't think it's enough. Not enough firepower. We definitely have the firepower, but in our current state, I don't think we have enough defensive players with experience, and just we ran out of bodies is what I'm trying to say. In our injured state, I think the Seahawks are the better team, and I do have them winning tonight. Obviously, I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. Now, There is another game coming up very soon, the Bills and the Broncos. We've talked about this before this week, talked about it with Ashton and Jack. But now we're going to try and go into a deeper dive before the game happens, just to get some last thoughts out there. Um, like I've been saying, the Broncos, they kind of feel fraudulent, and I've been saying that. But I also feel like I haven't been giving them enough respect this week. They are a very good team. That defense is elite. It's it's not as good as the Texans, but it is up there with some of the best units in football for sure. And they definitely earned their spot here. I'm not saying that they didn't. They definitely earned their spot here. It just feels like on this particular Sunday, the Bills are going to win. I think the Broncos are actually a better team than the Bills, but on this particular Sunday, I think the Bills are going to win. Josh Allen, it's time, buddy. It's time for you to go out there and have your best game ever. I think that's going to happen? Yes. I think Josh Allen is going to play out of his mind today. It might not start that way, but down the stretch when it matters, he's the best quarterback in the National Football League, and I think he's going to show that today. And it could be that he doesn't do that, but in my opinion, I think Josh Allen's going to take over this game. And if the Broncos try and come back like they have done over and over and over again this year and win it close, I, like I said, I don't think that works against Josh Allen. And that's why I'm taking the Bills to win this game. I think it's going to be, we'll go 27-24, and I see most of those points coming in the fourth quarter. That's just how the Broncos have been. Also, how the Bills have been a little bit this year, or for the most part. And I think there are going to be a ton of scores. Most, if not all, of the touchdowns in this game are going to come in the second half. And I see the Bills winning a very, very, very close one. Very, very entertaining football game at the Mile High Stadium. So I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking the Seahawks. But I would not be surprised if it's any result, any combination of those two teams that are still alive coming out of today. So those are the two football games for today. Before we go, let's just talk about the Warriors. The Warriors are playing basically the same time as the Niners, so it's going to be tough to talk about. Um, maybe I'll maybe I'll watch it. I don't know because I will be live streaming the 49ers game tonight. I don't think I'm going to be doing the Bills game, but you never know. Just keep an eye out for that. It won't be as serious as the Niner one, but I will be live streaming the 49ers game. We'll probably get that started a little bit before 5, so tune in if you can. It was a lot of fun last week. But the Warriors are playing tonight. We'll be monitoring that. We won't be watching it in depth because the Niners game is much bigger. But the Warriors game is still a big game. We're 23-19 right now. We've won 2 in a row. This is the 6th game of the 8-game homestand that I've been mentioning over and over again because it's very important. And we had a great game last game. Last game we had a good game. We had lots of scoring from Jimmy and Steph. And now we play the Hornets, who are 15-26. They're coming into the Chase Center. I think the Warriors win this game, and hopefully it's by a good margin. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. Sharks don't play, Warriors do. And then the two big football games. We don't have any big recent signings. So that's going to do it for today. Super excited for tonight. We're going to have a great episode tomorrow. We're going to have a ton to talk about with these two games, the Warriors and the preview. It's going to be a ton of fun. Tune into the live stream. I'll see you guys there, hopefully. And yeah, you guys have a great day and go Niners.